Assalamu alaikum viewers, I'm your host Muslim bin Akil with a new episode of The Legal Opinion. Today's episode is totally exclusive as we will be discussing the India-Pakistan relation. We have as guest Barrister Nidasna all the way from UK. She has been working as barrister with the Trinity Chambers and she is a barrister from Lincoln's Inn. Recently, Indian Army Chief has threatened Pakistan to wage a full-scale war and a lot of tension remains on both sides of the border. He has stated to give a befitting reply to Pakistan and has called us a terrorist, according to a statement published in the Times of India. Though the threat seems to be politically motivated to neutralize the bashing situation against the present Modi's government, who is facing serious corruption charges in fighter jet deals, the corruption is exposed by the ex-French president. Today we will highlight the legal consequences if the war launches between these two rival states. Ma'am, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Attorney. It is my privilege to be here today.
For this, I would be asking you the question that how was your journey from being a law student to a successful lawyer to a barrister from Lincoln's Inn? What hurdles you had to face to reach this step?
Well, I had a passion for law and bona fide intentions to become a barrister solicitor. Subjectively to work in the courts in real life is a great, exciting experience. Fortunately, I performed quite well in my undergrad. After that, I pursued for bar professional training course to become a barrister. And again, I performed quite well in that as well. And straight after that, I got the chance to work with one of the top chambers in United Kingdom. That enhanced my legal experience. Besides practicing full-time as a qualified barrister in the United Kingdom, I used to give law lectures as well part-time. So the journey I consider is hard work, full of hard work, tiring, new challenges to experience. And I believe that all the people who believe that this profession is quite easy, I strongly disagree with them because it requires a lot of tenacity, hard work, determination, tolerance, patience, and a lot of reading. So it is very important to have a passion for achieving anything in life.
Indeed, it is very important to have passion to achieve anything in life. We will be moving to our second question, and that is it is said everything is fair in love and war. So would you tell us that are there any laws, or if so, when were these laws created actually?
There have always been laws of war actually. For instance, individual armies have their own laws that determine to what extent an army can proceed, what is allowed, what is limited of. As far as the laws of wars are concerned, that were established back in 1949 through Geneva Convention. The laws of war I consider as a part of international law dealing with inception, conduct and termination of warfare. The basic aim is to limitize the suffering of the combatant and particularly to certain victims as non-combatant who prefer not to be a part of hostility. So, for instance, Geneva Convention, Hague Convention, Paris Declaration, Washington Declaration, London Declaration. So these are all a part of international law. The Security Council of United Nations, according to Article 39, is empowered to determine any sort of breach of peace, threats towards a peace, or you can say act of aggression. So if I would like to consider or refer towards the Burma military and Rohingya people, rape, murder, indiscriminating shelling, that were all the violation of international law on one hand. On the other hand, the recent report of United Nations, August 2018, detailed the evidence of gravest genocide by Burma military, and I strongly believe that the top military officials of Burma on one hand and Aung San Suu Kyi should be prosecuted at international level for breach of peace, for act of aggression, and for the violation of international laws.
Talking about the war laws, what are the rules of war? Why do they matter? As war doesn't determine who is right, but only it watches who is left.
The war must be satisfied for a war to be considered as just for a cause, and should fall into the category of legality and reasonable chance of success. अगर मैं आपको एग्जांपल दूं इसमें, इराक वॉर जो थी वो रीजनेबल सक्सेस नहीं थी, क्योंकि टोनी ब्लेयर ने जब अपने एलाइज के साथ मिलके इराक वॉर किया, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे आफ्टर 11 ईयर्स उन्होंने क्या कहा, आई वुड लाइक टू अपोलोजाइज क्योंकि मुझे रॉन्ग इंटेलिजेंस मिली और इस वजह से हमने इन्वेड कर दिया. सो दैट वाज नॉट सक्सेसफुल एंड दैट वाज नॉट फॉर एनी पॉजिटिव कॉज. आई बिलीव दैट जिसमें बहुत से इनोसेंट बच्चे विक्टिम बने, आप कह सकते हैं वीक वुमेन विक्टिम बनी है. ठीक है, सो दैट वाज अ वायलेशन ऑफ इंटरनेशनल लॉ फ्रॉम ऑल पर्सपेक्टिव्स एंड ही शुड बी प्रोसिक्यूटेड एज वेल एट इंटरनेशनल लेवल ऑन वन हैंड. अगर हम वॉर, अगर आप कह जो रूल्स ऑफ वॉर की बात करते हैं, रिसेंटली हाउस ऑफ कॉमन में जब डिबेट हो रहा था सीरिया वॉर के लिए, सीरिया अटैक के लिए, और एक्स प्राइम मिनिस्टर डेविड कैमरन ने जब हाउस ऑफ कॉमन में डिबेट किया सारा, और विद मेजॉरिटी वोटिंग दे ऑर्डर्ड देयर tornadoes to fly from Cyprus and attack. So that was a violation of another international law as well, because क्यों उसमें ज़्यादा कौन सफ़र किसने किया, बच्चों ने, वुमेन ने, वीक लोगों ने. ठीक है, so I consider atrocities at any point is a violation of international law.
How do you justify the legality of self-defense, and under what conditions self-defense is considered as acted a police?
Well, imminent danger is an imminent threat of harm, which varies depending on a number of factors. For instance, terrorism and all that. I think Pakistan has paid the highest price in terms of combating or eradicating terrorism in the region. So terrorism was an imminent threat. Zarb-e-Azb उसकी एक बहुत बड़ी example है. Great Intelligence Service of Pakistan, ISI, is a good example of that. With the best intelligence, they combat the terrorism. The streets of Karachi were full of atrocities. So आपके जो military operation हुए, आपके जो ranges deploy किए गए थे, I think वो imminent threat को ख़त्म किया गया. ज़रब-ए-अज़ब के अलावा अगर हम बात करते हैं APS के बाद बादशाह खान यूनिवर्सिटी का जो इंसिडेंट था, so इन सब चीज़ों को देखा जाए, these were the imminent threats actually in the country, in the region. So our great armed forces played a pivotal role in eradication of that, and this nation has paid the highest price in combating. And I would like to repeat the sentence of your great Chief of Army Staff, that the world need to do more rather than to blame like India कि हमारा हमसाया मुल्क दहशतगर्द है, दहशतगर्दी को पनाह देता है, या नेबर जो है दहशतगर्द है, टेररिज्म को फ़रोग़ देता है. तो ये बातें जो हैं, अब हमने इतनी ज़्यादा प्राइस जो पे की है, तो वो एक थ्रेट, इम्यूनिटी थ्रेट को ख़त्म करने के लिए की है. And I think people are living with peace in this country at the moment.
We will be moving to our next question. Barrister, would you like to answer that India claims to have conducted surgical strikes at the borders of Pakistan? So how do you see that?
I strongly disagree with the statement of India from all perspectives on surgical strike in Pakistan, because I think as they claim that we did surgical strikes, where is the evidence? You know, and if they're claiming, and as they claim that about surgical strikes, it is a violation of international commitment, it is a violation of international conventions. So it means that India is in breach of peace, and India is in breach of maintaining peace as well, and creating an act of aggression. So they are in a breach of international conventions, international treaties and declarations. So मुझे लगता है कि इंडिया का ख्वाब है सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक करने का, क्योंकि हमारे पास वो भूल जाते हैं, एक बात ये भूल जाते हैं कि बेस्ट ISI है, इंटेलिजेंस सर्विस, बेस्ट आर्मी है, और हमारे जो बॉर्डर्स हैं, दे आर टोटली सिक्योर, दे आर टोटली प्रोटेक्टेड. कभी एविडेंस तो दें सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक का, हमने तो कभी नहीं देखा सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक का एविडेंस. लगता है वो हमारे बॉर्डर के पास अपना कदम रख के भाग जाते हैं पीछे, और उनका ख्वाब में उनको आती है सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक, वो ख्वाब ही देख रहे हैं.
We have talked about self-defense. Would you like to differentiate between the preemptive self-defense and the anticipatory self-defense?
International law recognizes no difference between anticipatory or preemptive or prevention self-defense. These terms refers to the right to use in classic manner for a right to resist against imminent threat or attack. As far as the case of Caroline is concerned, which came into the light in 1837, that established the right of anticipatory self-defense. In the presence of Article 39 of the Charter, the case of preemption is not convincing, and the correct international legal order can deal effectively with the threat of terrorism. So these articles argues that certain acts of terrorism amount to armed attack, hence necessary and proportionate process may be used the imminent force against the threat.
Would you like to tell the interconnection between the justified force versus the act of retaliation?
आपको पता है जो पैलेस्टाइन में रिसेंटली अ यंग गर्ल जिसको आर्म फोर्सेस ने इजरायली आर्म फोर्सेस ने अटैक किया, बच्ची थी जो रिसेंटली एंड शी वाज imprisoned as well.
Yes.
Great. I forgot her name by the way. So the force used towards that young minor was not justified. Again, the force used in occupied Kashmir towards women for sexual assault is not justified in any manner.
Okay, we would be moving to our very next round. What is the interconnection between the elements of self-defense and the force versus the act of retaliation?
Well, in self-defense, an individual defends himself or herself, whereas act of retaliation is concerned, people retaliate as a revenge. एग्जाम्पल देखें, अफगानिस्तान में आप एयर स्ट्राइक्स करोगे तो एक्ट ऑफ रिटेलिएशन भी होगा, सेल्फ डिफेंस भी होगा. जब आप एयर स्ट्राइक्स करोगे छोटे बच्चों पे जो स्कूल जा रहे हैं एंड योर सोल्जर्स विल laugh in their planes, so they have to defend themselves from dying. So as far as retaliation is concerned, look at Palestine and Syria, Palestine and Israel example. So as a result of atrocity, hateness, discrimination, people do retaliate at certain point in their life.
Preventive war doctrine has not hitherto received any significant approval. How would you comment on this?
I think this era is a war of resources. This is not 1940s or 30s or 1890s where you will need weapon and all that. If war crimes, or if the war will not prevent, and if all 190 countries rectified international commitments and conventions were signed, if they will not comply with that, I strongly believe that it will be considered as a breach of that international agreement. On one hand, on the other hand, they will not prosperous in terms of culturally, socially, economically, and they will be left out in terms of prosperity to gain.
How do you find the concept of internship program introduced by Khana's Law Chamber over here in Pakistan?
I think this is a very good opportunity for young lawyers, for law students, because the Katana Law Chamber internship is entirely based on full exposure, learning, going to the courts. It will help students to be able to get into the BPTC and for LLM, and whenever they will go abroad like UK, it will help them in terms of legal experience and legal lifestyle to be able to continue with.
We would be moving to our very next round. We have a lot of serious talks, and we'll be now asking you a question from your personal life, like we will be knowing your taste and temperament. Very first question is, non-veg or veg?
Okay, I'm both, half veg, half non-veg. I eat veg, but I don't eat meat, I just eat chicken, so I'm non-veg as well.
Baseball or cricket?
If it's India, Pakistan, definitely cricket, and if it's England and Spain, definitely football.
Favorite holiday destination?
In East, Pakistan and Kashmir, and in Saudi Arabia, in West, Maldives and London.
Favorite personality?
I recently got the chance to read The Prophet by Martin Ling, so I think the great beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, is a very inspirational personality, and I learned a lot from him on one hand. No one except him, but recently I got a chance to read another big book on Hazrat Imam Hussain, so that gave me the strength and determination of courageness at the end of the day. So yeah, these two people at the moment.
Embarrassing moment while you were a law student and you learned from there?
In a legal context?
Yeah.
Not as a law student, I'll take into account. I think I had a great time in the university. I loved my past in terms of the uni life. But yes, in court in Pakistan once, after completing my bar, when I came back to Pakistan just for 6 months to practice here, because that's the That's the dream of Asian parents, children to come with the title as a barrister and come and appear in High Court. So I'll not take the name of the area and the judge. So I appeared in High Court in Pakistan, and it was my third case, and judge asked me that how many years of practice do you have? So I said I have enough years of practice to represent this case because I used to practice in the UK earlier. So later on, when I met with that judge in bar room, he said that I thought might be you came with your senior lawyer and you're just gaining the time of the court, but at the end of the day I won that case. So yeah, I think caliber, capacity and determination shouldn't be determined from age or from height, I think. So yeah.
What message you would like to give to the legal fraternity in specific and general public of Pakistan?
Law fraternity, I think I have experienced the law is into books only in Pakistan. It is not into practice like in UK. But on the other hand, I'll not compare the first world with the third world. We are still progressing, and we are still on a path towards the prosperity to attain. So I think for the law students, I just say to them, update yourself with the legal knowledge, work hard, be determined to achieve your goals. And for the lawyers, yeah, they are very passionate, but again, whenever I look at the lower courts, like basic lower courts, below than the high court, the situation is not that appreciating.
Thank you so very much, ma'am, for coming up to the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Attorney. It is entirely my privilege, and I enjoyed talking on certain little topics, you can say. And best of luck to the law fraternity, legal fraternity in Pakistan, and I hope to see them progressing every single day.
Thank you so much, viewers, for watching the show. As we have discussed in this episode, the laws of war, and we'll be coming up with our new episode of The Legal Opinion. Till then, Allah Hafiz.